Brian, that was beautiful.
And it's really the first, I've known you all these years, and it's the first time I've heard you just go through it as it happened. And
But I didn't say this is the woman that I love, that I'm with all these years, and I'm married to now. This is Chris Johnson.
And
I'm so thrilled
that you're here,
that you've expressed this, and also that our cousin and my cousin and Brian's sister is here tonight, Gail.
thank you so much.
And Gail, I dedicate this to you.
I wrote this piece, it's called Friday Night at Bubbe's,
Almost 30 years ago.
when I was teaching middle school language arts in Iowa. I had just finished a lesson plan on how to write a descriptive essay, and I wanted to give my students an example. I thought, they have no idea about this part of my life, so different than theirs, about my background and how I grew up. So this is what I will describe to them. I have shared this piece over the years in many different environments for various occasions with people who don't know me, as well as with my large family of cousins. It never grows old and seems to have universal resonance. But tonight may well be just the occasion it was written for. We have discovered a lost family member, and we are meeting here. I'm meeting here tonight with Gail for the very first time. I'm thrilled and honored by your presence, Gail, and by the fact of our relationship. I know that my Bubbe Ida would be as well. And so with this descriptive essay, I wish to welcome and embrace you and yours, and to inform you of what was best about our family. My hope is that you will choose to embrace your cousins and keep Bubbe Ida's flame burning in your heart. And looking at you makes me think that you always have. Friday night at Bubbe's. See you Friday night at Bubbe's, my aunts would call as they rushed off to work or make dinner. My grandmother, Ida Kravitz, was called Bubbe by her 10 children, 23 grandchildren, and ever-increasing number of great-grandchildren. Every Friday night, Bubbe's dining room table became her canvas, stretching centuries, laden with chicken soup, matzo balls, boiled chicken, kugel, challah, bow ties, and kasha, and of course her own kamish bread. Her family, as well as any other neighbors or friends who picked up on the aroma, crowded into her 4-room row house apartment at 6727 Horrocks Street to eat in shifts. Those coming directly from work, along with the children, would eat first. The second shift poked around the living room looking at the same old photographs, munching on salted peanuts and chocolate kisses, smoking, or just squeezing together on the sofa, gulping down the rich, luscious air of Bubbe's house. Aunt Jean, just home from work, still wearing her Lenny's Hot Dogs uniform, would dutifully sit in the same chair each week while Bubbe brought her soup. Aunt Jean served fast food at a hot dog stand at 5th and Passyunk Avenue all day to people she called baby and doll. She willingly surrendered her public persona as Bubbe's steamy soup seeped through her. She ended her meal with a Raleigh cigarette. She let me count the coupons. She chewed Dentyne and carried 4 packs in her handbag, always one for me. Aunt Min and Aunt Bess hovered around the kitchen table, or the dining room table, broad jumping to the refrigerator should any man or child ask for ketchup or butter. Bubbe couldn't understand why anyone would need ketchup, so you couldn't find any on the table. And butter was trafe with chicken. It wasn't allowed. But no one knew from one at Bubbe's house. So it was with impish delight that Aunt Minnie and Aunt Bessie saw that the contraband got into the right hands. No one waited very long for anything. In fact, the second shift usually ended up at the table with the slower eaters of the first shift, who were unwilling and often unable to give up their thrones. The table talk usually centered around the hot dog business. Almost everyone worked for Uncle Lenny, except for my parents, who had their own luncheonette, Baby's Hot Dogs, at 4th and Monroe Streets. Aunt Bess worked at Lenny's on Castor Avenue. Aunt Minnie did not, although her husband, Uncle Joe, went to work for Lenny after he lost his job in the late 1960s. Aunt Min and Aunt Bess resembled each other, sharing the same face and sense of humor. Aunt Bess was a brunette. Aunt Minnie dyed her hair fire engine red. People would see Aunt Bess working the counter at Lenny's on Castor and remark, "Oh, you've darkened your hair." "No, you're thinking of my sister," she would reply. The word sister dripped from her mouth, sweet as pie a la mode, famishing any sisterless soul like me. Cousin Lily was one of the eldest grandchildren. She was only a few years younger than my mother. When Lily's mother died young, Bubba raised Lily, along with my mother and Mom's younger brother, Lenny. They were Bubba's 3 youngest children. Lily didn't work for Lenny and was proud of it. She wore bright, tight clothes over her ample frame, and every inch of her said, "Notice me." I imagine this was to be expected from the 11th child. She complained that the cigarette smoke on Friday night at Bubba's irritated her asthma, and that there was too much food. She didn't stay long, but like all of Bubba's children, she always finished her plate. My Auntie Mame, Cousin Lily, drove a convertible and took me away on weekends to Long Beach Island, New Hope, movies, and theater. Early on, she whet my appetite for the freedom and excitement of the road, as well as the comfortable embrace of returning home. This was the table where I spent every Friday night for the first 12 years of my life. I was one of the kids who Bubba fed first. I remember the quiver of Bubba's wrinkled, vein-striped hands as she carried my bowl of hot soup between them. She didn't flinch when that steamy broth leaked down her sagging arms toward her elbows. Bubba crossed an ocean to bring me that soup. Feeding me was her goal. Mortal affliction would not come between us. The soup contained all of her hopes for a better life for herself, her family, her world. It made the struggles of her immigrant past, as well as the creeping injustices of old age, recede into the background, at least on Friday night. When Bubba lit the candles, she was kindling the fire of the future. I was just thinking about my matzo ball. Bubba infused my cousins, my brothers, and me with her fire, and fortified us with her antidote to physical or spiritual suffering. She left 24 grandchildren, who now have grandchildren. We don't come together nearly so often. Some have been lost, while others have been found. But even when just a few of us come together, it is with full hearts and stomachs, and with eyes lit from Friday nights at Bubbe's. That is, I think, all the readers, and it's really, really great. No matter who comes out, it's a really great thing we're doing, and I hope we'll just continue. And I'm even thinking maybe we'll do some theme nights, and people can bring in their pieces with the same theme, and that might be interesting as well. So if I don't have your email address, leave your email address, and we'll always be advertising, I guess, on my Facebook page and on my blog, Who Could Stop a Dream, and here at Milkboy, and everywhere else we can think of. So just put us on your list of contacts, and hopefully this will grow. Thank you.